Donald Trump shares this beautiful story about his father as he's speaking to a room full of home builders. Go watch.
But a lot of people came that normally don't come, and I'm very happy about that because home building is very close to my heart. That's where I grew up. My father built homes in Brooklyn and Queens, and that's how he started. And he worked very hard building garages. He started off building garages because the car was sort of coming into vogue, and people had houses, but they didn't have any place to store their car. And he worked very hard, and he put my uncle through school, MIT. My uncle went to MIT. My father worked very, very hard. Then my uncle went to graduate school. Then he became a doctor of this, and he went to MIT. And my father kept working. He said, "Does this guy ever finish school?" Then he became a professor at MIT, and my father said, "Finally." And it was amazing. But my father built houses, and he did it beautifully. And he'd go into the houses, and he'd check for nails. See, the bigger companies don't do this, but the individual guys that do the 1 or 2 or 8 or 10 houses a year, and we have everybody's represented. But my father would go, and he'd pick up the sawdust, and he'd pick up the nails, the extra nails, and he'd pick up the scraps of wood. He'd use whatever he could use and recycle it in some form or sell it. And it was a constant process, and he did a beautiful job. And he would build a house, and in the old days, the really old days, it was $39,999. And I used to say to him, because I'd see the old ads, I'd say, "Dad, it's 1 penny." He said, "Here's the difference. At $39,999, okay, 99 cents, I'll sell that house. At $4,000, I have no chance." Isn't it true? Right? You tell me. But I've always remembered that story. But it was true, and he did great. And people across the street would build, and it would take them longer, and their house wouldn't look as good, and it wouldn't be as well built as my father's houses. And he'd sell, and they wouldn't. And then he'd go buy them out, and he'd fix up the house, and he'd sell it. Welcome to being a home builder, right? That wasn't part of the speech, but that wasn't going to be part of the speech. I don't know why. I just I freewheeled that, and I said, because I'm so comfortable. I mean, honestly, I'm so comfortable in this business, and he taught me so much. I mean, more than anything else, he taught me so much, and we've built great buildings all over the world. We're building a great one now in Washington, D.C. It's almost completed, and it's about a year ahead of schedule, more than a year.
I don't know about you, but when I was watching this, I kind of had like an aha moment. And what I mean by that is that this story that he shared about his father shows us why Trump is who he is today, meaning that he's just not there in this world to make a buck. He's absolutely here for the quality of his efforts and the quality of what he delivers to the world or within his work. And what I mean by that is his father taught him that you're not just building quantity of houses. You're building, always putting forward. You can just hear this in a story. You're always building with passion, with integrity, and you're building to really deliver to someone a beautiful product, right? A beautiful home, quality home. So for Donald Trump to grow up seeing his father do that endlessly, and his father showing him how he did that, like he said, when he said he walked around and collected all the nails and all the extra material and either use it again in other builds or he sold it. He didn't work with waste. This was a huge role model for Donald Trump as Donald Trump was growing up. And you can just tell that it's absolutely why he is who he is today. It's not enough just to produce, but it's the outcome of what this Donald Trump produces. It's the outcome of his efforts and how many people in a positive way are being affected. So beautiful of a story, and really just gave me a aha, like connecting moment as to that's where, you know, Donald Trump gets his spirit and his love for America and for people and for quality of work.